Howdy everyone, this is Tricia and welcome to my channel. This year I will be doing a farmhouse themed Christmas. All the supplies that I will be using will serve as a basis to show you how I put items together for my projects. I hope that they will serve as an inspiration to give you ideas on how you can put things together for your holiday decorating. And I hope that you will enjoy this whole series. And as always, to all of you, Merry Christmas. Well, all right, today I'm going to be doing a tomato cage Christmas tree. So we're going to be using a 42-inch tomato cage that I have been using to do a Scarecrow hat and a Santa hat, which I ended up cutting to make them shorter because I didn't want them this tall. So I had this whole part left over. This time I'm not going to cut it off because I want the tree to be the whole size. But if you don't want a tree this size, and by the way, this is a 42-inch tomato cage. Here is a 33-inch one, so it's a little bit smaller. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to be doing this for my sister-in-law. Okay, she wanted a tree, and I was going to do the tree for myself, and I thought, well, geez, I don't have a place to put the tree. I really don't need it. She does. She wants it. So I said, you know what? I'm going to make your tree for my video. So I had her purchase some items, and I'll show you what the supplies are going to be. In hindsight, I feel like maybe I didn't tell her to purchase enough because I had the idea of the smaller, you know, the hat size when I cut it down. So I told her to just get a few little things here and there, and I told her what to get. But then I realized we're working on this whole big piece. I'm not going to cut anything off. So just keep in mind that what I'm going to use here, I may have to pull out some of my own supplies from somewhere and fill it in here and there. So I will tell you how much I ended up using. Okay, that being said, let me show you what the supplies are going to be. All right, well, as you can see, I have a mess of items here. I have got some pine garland. Now, this is the one that I feel like I did tell her we did get enough. I asked her to get 2 garlands, and so she got these. These she got them from Hobby Lobby, okay? We went to a craft store, and we actually purchased them there. Most of our items are from the Dollar Tree. We're not going to find garland like this at the Dollar Tree, so I'm glad that we did get that at Hobby Lobby. Another item that we purchased that was not from Hobby Lobby is this large roll of Deco mesh. You can find large rolls like this, again, at the craft stores, like Hobby Lobby, Michael's, even Walmart might even carry something like this. We actually went to a floral store in our town nearby and another city nearby, and we got this. This is a 21-inch wide by 10 yards of Deco mesh in here, and I think we paid like $6 for this. It was a great deal, so we went ahead and grabbed those. Okay, then from the Dollar General, we've got ourselves 100 lights. These are clear Christmas lights. They're the type that you plug in. Okay, so then from the Dollar Tree, we got some ornaments. So she got these 2 little rolls of ornaments, which I think is probably going to be enough. Where I don't think we're going to have enough of is where she grabbed some ribbon, and I really should have thought about it and told her. I felt like I was telling her, buy this, buy this, buy that, and it was going to be expensive, and I kind of felt bad. So I just told her, just grab one of each, whatever you like. So she grabbed these ribbons. I do happen to have this particular ribbon. It's really cute. It's burlap with polka dots on it. I happen to have some of this ribbon, so I might pull out some more of my own. She got this one with some little hollies, little berries on it. I have one, but it's not this. It has like Christmas sayings on it, so I may pull it out and she could use it. I could use it for her tree also. And here is some red burlap ribbon that I also asked her to get. And some red mesh. Now this is definitely not going to be enough, I don't think. I went ahead and I dug through my stuff. I didn't have any red mesh. I did have some white, so I'm going to use some of that. And this I got it from Hobby Lobby some time ago. I did not get it at the Dollar Tree. Now she got some ornaments at Dollar Tree. She got these cute little, they have really cute things at Dollar Tree, by the way. She got these little cute little top hats. Look at that. They're beautiful. Anyway, there's 3 of those. She got these little lanterns. Also 3 of those. And then some snowflakes that are burlap. Hold this up here for you. They're burlap and felt on the back. And then they've got this cute little pine with little pine cones in there and some little berries. And she got 3 of those as well. And then she got these cute little wooden ornaments. This one says peace. And they're cute because they have, again, they have a little pine and the little pine cones. They're little plastic pine cones, but let me tell you, these are so cute for $1. It's a great ornament. This one says joy. So she got peace, joy, and love. They're so cute. This one can even be recycled for Valentine's Day. Just remove this little part. But these are awesome. They're beautiful for any time of the year, actually. And then she got this huge ornament ball that I'm going to dress up a little bit because I'm going to take this part off. Most of the decoration is up on the top here. I was thinking about putting it like that, but then it doesn't have anything here. So I'm going to turn it this way, and then I'm going to take this part off and put something there. So I'll figure that out. And then she got a bush of flowers, and I told her just grab one little bush, and I really should have told her to grab 2 or 3 of them. I don't know why, just that. Okay, so I'm going to end up pulling out some stuff. I did have this ribbon here, this burlap ribbon that I used last year on my garland for my, I think for my fireplace, I'm not sure. But it says Merry Christmas on there in different fonts, different letter styles. So I think I'm going to use this. I think I'm just going to cut the little ends here and just kind of somehow wrap it around at the bottom of the tree or somewhere in the tree. Oh, and then some snowflakes, a package of 10 pieces. This is awesome. A little plastic snowflakes are really pretty. They have a little bit of a kind of iridescent glow to them. Okay, the supplies that I'm going to be using, I'm probably going to be using some of these tie backs, these little plastic tie, you know, wires. I don't know what the heck to call them. They're just little plastic tie things. These you can find them at the Dollar Tree where they have like all the hardware kind of stuff. I forgot to tell her to get chenille stems, so I'm going to go ahead and use some of mine. And I've got glue gun, glue sticks, I've got scissors, wire cutters. I'm probably going to be using my rotary cutter, my rotary mat, to cut these small pieces of mesh. Let's see, what else will I need? Well, as we go along, I will let you know what other tools I may use. I don't want to spend too much time on that. And I've got some floral wire. I'm so happy. Okay, let's get to crafting. All right, one of the first things I'm going to do is I'm going to fluff up my garland. Now, I'm not going to do both of the garlands because I'm hoping that I only need to use one. And then the other one, I won't have to fluff it up unless I need it. Or maybe just part of it if I just need a piece. So these garlands are 9 feet long, just to give you an idea of what I'm working with here. I don't know if I mentioned that. So all I'm doing is fluffing it up. So I'm keeping it flat on the table. Keeping it flat on the table. And I started at one end, and then I'm working down by just lifting up these pine branches, and I'm making sure that I'm either pulling them to the sides or upward. I'm not pulling any to this other side. This side I want it flat. This is going to get wrapped around the cage, so I don't need any garland going inside of the tree that we're going to create. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and continue fluffing this as I'm fluffing it. I'm also straightening it up a little bit because it was folded in half and then half again. So all I'm doing is just trying to get rid of that little fold. Okay, I'm going to continue on doing the rest of it, and I will be back. Okay, I've had to do a lot of thinking while I was fluffing up my garland because I want to intertwine or twirl, whatever you want to call, wrap my garland around this whole cage here. I have points of areas where I can hook it onto the rings or these parts here where it's going to grab onto, and then right in the middle is where I want to put some of that green mesh that I showed you. I want to drape it around also as well. I'm not going to be cutting it and putting little pieces. It's going to get draped around, but I also want to put the lights in there. Now I want to put the lights after I put the garland because I want some of the lights to go over the garland. I don't want the garland to hide any of the lights. So I'm going to go ahead and put the garland as I'm thinking of doing it. I'm going to skip the part where I'm going to put the chenille stems going up and down because I'm not doing little pieces of mesh, you know, the Deco mesh on here, and I'm not doing like little bundles of them yet, and I'm not doing the ribbon wrap. So this has plenty of wire on it, so it won't just go inward. I can shape it so it'll stay outward. So I'm going to just start at the bottom. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to start at the bottom and wrap like 2 pieces of these twine around not only the piece here coming upward, but also on the ring and then just twisting it a couple of times, making sure it's nice and tight. And then ever so often, go under the ring with one of the branches, and then twist it with another piece of branch, all the way around until they meet up back over here. Now I do want it to go swirl upward, but I want the bottom part to have all the garland. Okay, so we're just going to do that. Now as you do this, make sure that all your little garland bits are going out, are facing outward, little branches are shooting outward, whether it's up, you know, facing straight up, or shooting outward, not inside of the cage, because we want all the fullness out here on the outside. Okay, I'll fluff it up a little bit more as I start to decorate and such. But for now, this will do. Okay, I'm getting to the point where it's meeting up the other end. Here we go. And I'm just going to take, again, a couple of pieces, wrap tightly. I'm going to take another one and wrap it around this one going upward, just to make sure that it doesn't slip around, like, you know, back this way, that it stays in place. And now this is where I'm going to be going upward. So I'm not going to be going upward all the way to the ring. Let me turn this around so you can see. And get this garland over on this side. Okay? I'm going to be going upward now. I'm going to leave some space here because I'm going to be putting mesh there. So right up in this little section, and make sure that it's rounded, that it's not like tight, because then it's going to be going in. But that make sure this is rounded. Your garland is rounded just like the ring. And then right where it meets the stem going up, tied right there. This is getting on my shirt. Okay. I'm going to do it again on this other one here. Come around now. When I'm coming around right here, as you can see, I'm not going to put the garland. Now, right at this point, I'm going to start moving it upward. So above the ring, okay? So right about here, I'm going to grab it onto not only the ring on the outside, but the stem that's going upward. And again, make sure your garland, oh, oops, I grabbed onto it. Make sure your garland is rounded, the same as the rings, and not just pulled straight tight. Okay. All right, and I think we are going to have to go into that second garland. So I'm glad that we did buy another one. So my first instincts were right. Okay. Going here, and I'm going to meet up to this one here and just tie it right here so it doesn't move on me. And I'm going to go grab the second garland and start right where I left off again, and then moving upward, leaving some space in between where the mesh is going to fill. So this is what I've got so far with one 9-foot garland on this 42-inch tomato cage. And I'll be back when I'm done and getting up to the very top. All right, I'm back, and I wanted to show you how much 2 9-foot garlands did on this 42-inch tomato cage. It almost reached the very top. I'm not going to worry about the very tippy top because I am going to be wrapping it with mesh, and then I'll have some bows and some things here to cover that up. Oh, by the way, I did take the 3 ends up here that were loose, and I grabbed them together, and then I used a chenille stem to wrap around just to hold those 3 ends together up at the top and just keep them at a point. Okay, so that's what I've done so far. I've done some fluffing here and there. I'm not worried too much about it because I'm probably going to end up crushing it a little bit as I'm working with it. Okay, so now I've got my 100 string lights, and I want to start at the bottom. The reason that I was saying that I didn't put chenille stem is because I am going to be putting lights going through here around between the garland and so, and I think that the garland, the mesh, I should say, the mesh will grab on to the wire and the lights. Now, again, the reason that I'm putting it after I put the garland is because I want the lights tucked into the garland so that you can see them, not hiding behind. And then the parts that you will see, you can see them through the mesh. So the mesh is going to be okay to put through here. So it's got this little part here, this little tail. I'm just going to pick any area here in the back as my back of my tree, if you will. And then just grab a couple of pieces and grab that in there. So I'm going to take my lights and just kind of push them through my garland as I go around. And I'm hoping that I will have enough, because if I consider this is 18 feet of garland. Now let's see. My lights, it says lighted length is 20 feet. So I think I'll have enough all the way up to the top. But this is the garland. I'm not taking into consideration the mesh. Now, you might want to get a string of 200 lights so you can have lots of lights on there. Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and go through here and put it on the garland, stick it in the garland, grab 2 little bits of garland and just wrap in front of it just so that you don't see too much of the wire, and just work my way up all the way to the top, and I shall be back. All right, I've gone ahead and I put this string of lights all the way around the bottom, and I've actually gone in the same direction that I've been putting the garland. So I've come back around this way, right here where it met up with the other end that I started. And now I wanted to work my way up, but I don't want to work my way up to the garland, but rather between the 2 garlands now. And this is where I feel like I need two strings of these 100, so, or 200 string lights is what I need, because I'm actually doubling it twice, not just the amount of the garland. I had said the garland was 18 feet. My lighted lights are 20 feet. So that would be fine if I just put it on the garland, but I want to put it between not only the garland, but between the garland and garland, between the garland, garland, between the garland, and so forth as I go up on my tree. So here, where I'm now going to go between the garlands, I need to attach this wire somewhere so it grabs onto something. So I've cut up some chenille stems. This was a 12-inch piece of chenille stem, and I've cut it into 3 pieces. Let me put this back because I feel like you're not seeing what I'm saying. So I put it on the bottom garland, and I want to put it between, and then I want to go onto the garland and so forth. So it's actually, the lights are actually doubling around this whole cage. So I'm going to put a little chenille stem on the light and then wrap it onto this little piece of, so now I've got this wire, you know, the lights coming through here. This is where mesh is going to go, and then you'll see those lights behind the mesh. So you have lights in front of the garland, and then you hide the wire in the garland, and then you're going to have the lights between the garland. Okay, so I'm going to work my way around this way. I'm going to go and actually go take a quick little trip to my Dollar General, buy me another package of lights, because I feel I'm going to need 2 packages, and I'll be back. All right, I have finished putting 2 rows of 100 count lights, or if you want to just go ahead and get yourself a 200 count. So again, this 42-inch tomato cage is going to need 2 9-foot garlands, or 18 feet, I'm sorry, and then you'll need the 100 or two boxes of 100 lights, or 1 box of 200. I went ahead and I just did the 2 boxes of the 100. I hadn't put much on here. I could have just gotten a 200 count light box when I went back to the store to get some more lights, and then just done one row. But I wasn't sure the lighted length, and then I got to the store and I completely forgot about that. So I said, you know what, I don't even remember anything. I'm just going to get myself another box of the 100. That's what I did. I had a little bit left over, which I let hang inside of the tree. So I've got some slack of lights that are running down on the inside of the tree, and they're hanging all the way down, and they're kind of, you know, crunched up together. So I'm just going to leave it like that. It's kind of zigzagging as it hangs. I think it looks great. So I've got lights on the garland, and then I've got lights between the garland. So that's going around. So now between the garland, I want to place this mesh. Now I have been putting everything starting from the right to the left. Let me find my spot where I actually started. I'm going to go ahead and unplug it and turn off the lights. Okay, right back here where I have my cord is where I started. So that's where I'm going to start adding the mesh. Let's put these in. I've got chenille stems here, these 12-inch chenilles. I've cut them in half, so I have half pieces of chenille. And then I have these little plastic tie backs. I used a couple of them here and there with the lights. I didn't really need them. I ended up using chenille pieces, so I had cut the chenille stem into 3. So then I used those little small pieces. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my, let me move this, I think probably better on this other side. I'm not sure. I'll see how it works. Okay, move that out of the way. Scissors. You need some space because this mesh catches onto everything. Okay, so just gather the end together like so. Just gather all of the end. Grab a chenille stem. Tie it tightly around. Make sure you grab it all. That's all the edges in there. And don't worry if it's a nasty looking end because it's going to get tucked in there. So I'm going to start right here where this one started going upward, right in here. So I'm just going to tie this to the garland because I don't have one of these little metal bits going up. So I'm just going to tie it to the garland here, wherever it can catch on. Just get it in there. Let's turn it around this way. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start bringing it around in between the garland. Okay, I'm going to start tucking it. But like at every maybe 10 or 12 inches, I'm going to gather it. So this is where it's going, okay? About 12 inches. Gather it. Put a chenille stem around it, twist it. And here I'm going to grab it to the string of lights that's in there and just tie it on. Okay. Make sure your garland is nice and poofy. So look at that. That's how the chenille or the Deco mesh is going to look between the garland. It looks beautiful, and you can go with whatever colors you want. If you don't want to do it all in green, or if you have a different green, grab that. Now, I'm going to do like 12-inch loops, and I'm going to kind of work my way down maybe to 10, maybe a little bit smaller as I go up. I'm just going to make the loops a little bit smaller rather than going this far over. I might just go like halfway. So that's just giving you an idea that I am going to get smaller as I go up. But this is how I'm going to start off, about 12 inches. If you want to measure, go right ahead, or just, kind of eyeball it. Tie this again around my mesh. And then that chenille ties around some lights, around the light string. And then all those lights that are between the garland are going to shine through the mesh. Turn these around. Okay, I'm going to go over to the front of the desk. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the camera closer so that you can see what it looks like up close with what I'm doing. Alright, so we've gotten closer. And here I'm going to grab about 12 inches of mesh, just like that. Oops. Get this tied on here. Between the garland here, tuck it in. Grab the string of lights that's back there between the garland. And then tie the chenille stem onto that. So there you can see that looks like. So I'm going to continue going upward, and I'll let you know more or less where I started going smaller and so forth. And I'll be back. All right, well, this is what the tree is looking like. I have finished putting all the mesh on there. I really didn't go too much smaller on my loops as I was going upward. I may have just worked my way down to maybe about 8 inches. Even at the very top, I have maybe like 6 or 8 inches of fabric that I've gathered up at the top. But that's not till I got way up there. I was doing 12, pretty much 12 all the way to the middle. Somewhere along here, I started getting a little bit smaller. That was a 10-yard roll of Deco mesh, which was 30 feet. So this is all I had left over. So just keep in mind that you do need a lot of Deco mesh to fill this particular size, this 42-inch cage. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is I want to make some little mesh bundles so that I can tuck them here and there. Now when I tied this down, I used gold chenille stems. You might want to look for green ones. They do have some that do look like the pine. You get less in the package, but if you want to be like really perfect and let everything look really pretty, then you might want to choose that. Otherwise, a green one or even a brown one would work just fine, or even tan. But the gold works just fine. It doesn't really show up too much. I am going to be putting, you know, decorations on my tree. So anywhere where I see some gold chenille stem, I'm probably going to put something there. So anyway, I had mentioned earlier that I didn't tell my sister-in-law to buy like lots of stuff. I just told her to grab a few items because I had the idea that I was somehow working at a smaller scale. But then so when I went to go get my lights, I also went ahead and I grabbed a few more supplies, just a little bit more mesh and a little bit more of some flowers and some ribbon. But I do have some ribbons here at home that I do want to work with and use. So I'm going to be using this white ribbon here. And I'm just going to push that out of the way. And then I'm going to bring the camera down so you can see what I'm going to be doing here on the table. Alright, so I took into careful consideration what mesh I want to use. My sister-in-law purchased one of these and I had to go back and I went ahead and I purchased another roll just like it. I did have this white one here of this Deco mesh, but I feel like the ornaments and things that she got all have the burlap look to them. So I'm really don't thinking the white's going to look good. So I did have this one here in my home. It does have that twine inside of the mesh. It's really pretty. A mesh or Deco mesh. It's really beautiful when you look at it close up, and I think I'm going to go ahead and use that for her. This is for my sister-in-law, so why not, right? Okay, so now I've got myself a bunch of little pieces of chenille here. I've taken the chenille stem and cut it into 3 pieces to create these little bits, and I've just got a bunch of them here. I'm going to see how many I can get out of here. These are not going to be very big loopy bundles, so let me go ahead and just cut like a 6-inch. I'm going to first trim the edge here so that I can get a nice straight edge. Okay. And then I usually use my measuring stick. Well, it's over there somewhere. Something that holds it down like that is what I do. So okay, I'm going to cut 6 inches, and this is I believe it's a 6 or 5 inch wide. It's a 6-inch wide, so I'm cutting basically squares. So I'm just going to cut a bunch of these, and then also the same with this one. I'm going to cut 6 inches. What I want to do actually is I want to take 2 of these, this red, and it's got a little gold in it. It's really nice. So I'm going to take these and I'm just going to do a little curly. So I'm just going to roll them up like that. And then the third one, this burlap looking one, and then just put this around it and make a little curly Q like that. Okay, just like that. So I'm going to make a few of those. I may decide to put some ribbon in some of them, or maybe the ribbon I'll do it separately on there. I'm going to count to see how many of these, you know, between these little, where I tied it down here, these little, between the loops of this Deco mesh. I'm going to count to see how many of those I have and see if maybe I can do that many. At the top I'm going to put a bow, so I'm not going to worry about the very top. Okay, so let me go ahead and do that, and then I'll let you know how many I ended up cutting and what I put together in the end before I start putting them on there. Alright, so I've gone ahead and I've counted the little spaces I had between each of these poops where I have a little gold chenille where I've tied it down, and I have approximately 30. So I've gone ahead and I've done 15 of this poof that I first showed you with all the mesh. And then I'm going to go ahead and do a 15, which I'm about to finish here, of these other little bundles, which is just the red burlap ribbon and this polka dotted ribbon. So I just took 6-inch pieces. You could do 8 inches depending on how much ribbon you've purchased, but because we've purchased very little for the project, I am doing them shorter. So what I'm doing is I'm alternating one of these and then one of these and then one of these and one of these between those spaces. So let's get this out of the way. Let me go ahead and show you on the tree here, the bottom. I've already placed one here that's all mesh, here with all ribbon, here all mesh. So the next one would be all ribbon. So all I'm doing is I'm just taking the little chenille ends on it and tying it right where I tied it with the gold chenille, where I made the loop. I just tied it, place it right in there. And I've already gone ahead and I placed another one of these. So I was kind of skipping over so that I could see if I liked the idea, and I did. So now the next one would be this one here, and I'm going to work my way all the way up on my tree, filling it up with these little bows, little mesh bundles, until I've done all the way up to the top. I probably might not get all the way up to the top, but I'm not going to worry because I am going to put a bow up there, and I want to kind of put some of these poinsettias kind of cascading downward, and then of course I've got all the ornaments. So let me go ahead and put all of these on there, and I shall be back so you can see the tree, how that looks. Alright, so the next thing I want to create is I want to create these little swags, and I want to create like 3 little swags coming down from the top of the tree facing downward or hanging downward. So I'm going to cut some of these poinsettias from their little bushes. Actually, I don't want to push them all the way through, which I just did on this one. Okay, so this one I'm going to use my wire cutters, and I'm just trying to push the flowers up and the leaves up as much as I can, and then I'm just going to cut them at their longest point. And I think I'm going to use 3 flowers for each of my swags, so I'm doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I need 9. So maybe I'll use a little bit more. This one's missing a flower on here. Okay, 2 more would make it 9. Okay. The way that I'm going to make this, I need some floral tape as well, which I didn't grab. Here we go, right here. And I've got my floral wire. Let's move this out of the way so that you can see things. Okay. So I'm going to take 3 of the flowers, and this one fell out. If you have flowers that keep falling off the stem, what you could do is take a little bit of a glue, and from your glue gun, let me grab that over here, and then just put a little bit of glue on the little bit of the stem there. Slide your flower in there, and that'll keep your flowers from falling off. Okay, so I'm going to take 3 of these flowers, and I'm going to do like a little triangle. I'm going to fold them upward a little bit so they're not, you know, flat like that. The petals aren't being pushed like that. So I'm just going to bend them a little bit on the back. So I'm going to put them like that, and I'm going to put one just a little bit lower from this one, the same on the other side with the other one. So I'm going to take the 3 of them here. I'm going to bend these stems so they're not all like clustered together. Cut some wire. Take these stem bits here, get some wire and wrap it around. So basically creating like a little bouquet, a little bundle. Okay, once you've got it wired down so that all 3 pieces are stuck together like that, making a little stem or a little bush, then we're going to go ahead and hide all that with some floral tape. The floral tape, as you're wrapping it around, you kind of pull on it a little bit. That releases the adhesive on the tape, and that's what makes it stick. If you're just wrapping it around without pulling on it, it's just going to come right off. So if you're wondering if you've tried it and that happens to you, it's because you're not pulling on it. Okay, so you're just going to wrap up all where the wire is so that doesn't show. And then just fix your little flowers so that they hang in a little triangle. They're going to hang like that. So I'm going to make 3 of those. trying to pick the nicer flowers, but they're all pretty much kind of, you know, they get a little bit crushed. Go ahead and cut 2 pieces of wire so I'll have them ready. Now you don't have to wire them. You could just go ahead and just use a floral tape on them to put them together. Bend them outward a little bit. Put your wire. Roll it around. Don't worry if they get twisted one way or the other. You can just twist them back, and good thing is that because they are bendable, you can manipulate them to the position that you want them. Okay? So wrap that up. Okay, I'm going to make the third one and I shall be back. Alright, I've done my 3 little bundles here of flowers, and then I'm going to take this, let me get these out of the way. I did buy extras because I wasn't sure how much I was going to need, but I knew that 1 bundle was not going to be enough. I'm probably going to use more of those flowers in the tree, so I'm going to take this ribbon here. This is 3 yards of ribbon with these little red polka dots. They're so cute. And I'm just going to take like a little bit of a length of tail, which is about the, you know, right kind of in between these flowers, right about where they join right here. It's about 6 inches or 8 inches of tail. And I'm just going to make 3 loops. 1, 2, and 3. And if you want to know how to make handmade bows, the link is in the description box. Alright. And then I'll just take some chenille stem. Let me get these longer ones. Cut them in half. And tie that. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just going to make 3 of these bows, and these will then get attached to each of my mini little swags of flowers. I'm just going to attach it like that. Just wrap it around, and then just to hide the chenille stem that's coming down, I'm going to put more tape. Wrap that around. And that is it, okay? So then I just maneuver my ribbon. I cut one shorter, one of the tails shorter than the other one. So that's basically what I'm going to do. Just little bundles like that. I'm calling them swags because they're going to be hanging upside down on my tree from the top. Okay, so let me go ahead and finish putting those together. And then what I also want to do is I want to take these ornament balls and I want to go ahead and start putting them on my tree. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hot glue them onto the bow bundles. Let's see, like this one right here, for example. And it's not the ones with the mesh, but the ones just with the bows. I'm going to put a little ball in between those. So I've got enough here to do that. So I'm just going to alternate red and the gold and fill that up so that I at least have those ornaments already on there. Finish these up so I can do the top, and then we're going to do the decorative ball that's going to go at the very top. Okay, so the next step that I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to go ahead and put all these ornaments that I have here on my tree. I've got the little top hats, the little lanterns, these burlap and felt snowflakes, my words here, the 3 little signs, and then I have some clear snowflake ornaments that I'm also going to put on the tree. I do have some extra of these little balls that I may fit in there once we're done with the tree. If I feel like I need something else extra, I'll go ahead and put them on there. But I think it's still be really pretty, and I think it's kind of elegant, actually. So the next thing I'm going to do now is I am going to go ahead and put these snowflakes. They do have these little strings on them to hang them, but I'm not even going to bother with a little string. I'm actually going to just cut that off. And then I'm just going to use my glue gun, a little bit of glue, and just stick them on the mesh or on the pine. Just kind of spread them out. There's 10 of them, so just kind of spread them out evenly on your tree. This is the front of my tree. I have this ribbon that says Merry Christmas, and I kind of want to drape it across the front. So I'm going to turn this around. I think I'd like to put it like not necessarily like straight, but maybe kind of slanted a little bit. And I'm going to fold it a little bit like that, as you can see there, kind of tucked in. So now I can just take my glue gun, a little bit of glue, stick it to the pine right there, grab the other end, and then this will get stuck to the mesh right here. Kind of want to squeeze it a little bit, get it a little wrinkly. There we go. Put that on there. That's pretty because I do have these beautiful little wood signs that have messages on them. Let me see if I can take this sticker off the back. I can. Awesome. Okay, I'm going to put this love one right up here and just bend the little pine branch where I'm hanging it from. I'm not even gluing these on. A piece went over here on this other side, and then I'm going to do another one over here. I didn't even take the little sticker off the back of the other one. Okay, so this one maybe a little bit lower because the other one kind of went a little higher, right about here. And the same with the top hats, and then the little lanterns, and of course these other snowflakes. So once I'm done with that, I'll come back and we're going to do the little ball that goes on the very top and form a bow, so that we can put that on the very top, and then put these swags that I created with the flowers coming down from the sides. And if I have enough ribbon, I'd like to have some ribbon cascading downward off the tree, especially on the sides and maybe on the back as well. So let me get these ornaments on there and I'll be right back. All right, everyone, as you can see, I put all the ornaments on the tree. I think it looks really pretty. It's nice and full. And I've gone ahead and I've also taken the rest of my poinsettias that were left on the bush, and I've cut them to little short stem flowers, and I've glued them into my tree. So I just put some glue on the tips of the stem, the little short stem, and then just poke them in here and there where I felt like it needed, you know, something where there was a little vacancy. And I took all the ornament balls that I had left like these, and I've gone ahead and put them on there. I saved one because I want to put it on my ornament here, my big ornament ball that's going to go up the top of the tree. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'll bring the camera down so you can see what I'm doing with that. I am working now at night, so my light might not be the same as it normally is because I don't have any sun coming in through my window, so forgive the lighting. Okay, so let me go and bring the camera down and I'll show you what I'm doing next. Alright, so I have this ornament ball that I want to put at the very top of the tree. It's kind of a glittery, scrolly, pretty ornament ball, and it does have these 4 rhinestones on it. And well, I thought that, well, I'm going to hide this little bit where it hangs from and put it upside down, but then the top part is not very decorative, and I want to be able to show off these little rhinestones. So instead of using the bottom as my top, I'm going to go ahead and use the top as a top. So I'm just going to take off this little knobby bit here. Let's see if I can just use my, well, I'm going to get my little pliers. Where are they? Oh, should have been a little more prepared. I am very tired. Sorry, this is late at night. Okay. Alright, so now I've got that, and I do have a little bit of a hole there, and then I do have the bit on the ornament, on the little ornament ball. I'm just going to take that off. It's got a little bit here. That can just go right into that, and I think that that'll make a nice little topper for the very top of this ornament. Oops. There we go. So there we go. That's all I've done with that. Now under it, I'm going to have these little bundles. I made 3 of them, so I'm going to go ahead and hot glue them onto the ball as well. Let me make sure that this stays on here before I have another one. No, this one's working just fine. Okay, I'm going to make sure that this is glued on well before I continue on. So let me go ahead and take a little break and probably switch it over because I got some glue on it over here. And that looks kind of bad. It's a good thing I had this one. So I'm going to go ahead and switch it over, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I've taken these 3 bundles that I made here, and I've just kind of twisted them together on the end to kind of create like a little wreath. And then I am going to glue my ball into that. So I'm just going to put some, let me put the glue on my ornament here. Then I'm going to put this right on it. There we go. I'm going to leave that over to the side so it will dry. Now I'm going to take one of these ribbons. I have not used these at all. So I'm going to take one of these and I'm just going to make a very big kind of a loopy bow. And I'm going to do about maybe 6 loops. And these are about 12 inches. So then it's 6 inches like that. Again, if you want to see how I make handmade bows, the links will be in the description box below. So there's 4, 5, and 6. It has no tail. It's just the bow. Well, let me get a little short piece here. I don't have one. Let me go ahead and cut that one then. All right, so now I've got this prepared. Whatever I have of ribbon left over on this roll, it's just not very much, it's very little. And then the other roll that I have here, I'm going to drape some strings coming from the very top of the Christmas tree, but I think I'm going to have to put the tree on a chair or something so that it could be lower so that you can see what I'm doing at the top of it. So let me go ahead and get that all set and I'll be back. All right, so I've got my tree down now set lower so that you can see the top of it. I said I was going to take some of this ribbon, and I've got one right here, and I'm just going to fold the end, cut a little V out of it so that I have this little ducktail kind of thing on it. Then I'm going to hang this kind of here in the front. I don't want it too long because I don't want to hide the banner that I put down here, that big ribbon that I put on there. And then I'm just going to glue this right up here on the top. Right onto the mesh, wherever it wants to stick. Try not to stick it on your lights. It's no big deal, but you know, try not to. And then I'm just going to curl it here and there and just tuck it behind something. Get a little glue so it doesn't move. Another bit of curling and tucking. A little bit of glue. Okay, so now I want some on the other sides. And I want this one kind of long. On the top with some glue where it can stick down into. Again, kind of pinch it and push it into something. Put some glue in there, tuck it in. Okay, so then I want another one on the other side over here. Nice long one. I'm going to turn the chair around just a little bit so I can see what I'm doing. Put some glue there. Tuck it in right there. Glue. Tuck it behind that snowflake. And then just down here somewhere. Okay, you'll see this one once I bring it up on top of the table. And then of course I'm going to pan the camera on it so you'll see it on all its glory. Okay, now that I put those ribbons, I actually don't have very much left, so I used 2 of these rolls of ribbon. These are 3-yard rolls, so you need 6 yards to make this bow and 3 streamers coming down. You could have 4 streamers if you wanted to use that leftover bit. Okay, so now I'm going to get this, and I'm going to use the chenille stem that's on it to tie around the tippy bit here, this little metal bits. And then I'm going to put glue in there as well. And just open up the loops around that metal bit. Okay. Alright, so now I want to get my topper, but I also want to put these pretty little bundles that I made. The front is right here. So I want one coming down, and I'm going to just hook up, make a little hook up from the stem and put glue on it. And then just hook it onto something in there. There we go. Once it's dry, you can bend it some more, maneuver it some more, okay? There we go, just like that. One in the very front, and then I'm going to put 2 on each side. I'm going to glue it onto this little branch there, and then just bring the branch around and hide that little part that was covered in floral tape. Okay, I'm going to bring it over to the other side, put the other one over here. Now you can make these a lot longer, more flowers, and then have a big swag coming down your tree if you want to really make it really full and elegant. And you really only have to really make just one. And just drape it, or just glue your individual flowers on there and just a bunch up here, and then just get less and less as you go down to where you end up with just one at the very tip. Okay, now I'm going to add my big ornament that I made. Lots of glue on it everywhere, and it's going to glue onto that bow that I made. So you want to make sure everything dries up really good before you put this on, but I'm going to go ahead and do that for the sake of time. And because this is a styrofoam ball, those little metal bits that were sticking up at the very top that I wired together, I'm actually pushing the ball into at least one of them. So that's going to hold it really well. Okay, so there we go. I'm going to move my tree back up on top of the table so that we can look at it, and then I'll pan the camera around so you can get a closer look. All right, everyone, this is the finished tree. I think it looks fantastic. I love it. I think my sister-in-law will absolutely go crazy when she sees it. And I hope that you will like it too. I'm going to give myself a big old thumbs up. Make sure you give me a big old thumbs up as well, and leave a nice comment down below. And thank you all for all your nice little tips. Thank you to all of you who have been subscribing. You're all my friends. I love you very much. You've inspired me to keep on working and keep going. It is late at night, but you know what? It's okay. What would I be doing? I'd be sitting on the couch. So I'm happy that I'm doing this, and this is going for you for Friday, and I hope that you enjoyed it on popular demand. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already subscribed, and share on your social medias, and as always, enjoy.